This is super relevant in the current market. A lot of people are getting hammered with a micro level of volatility. So if you don't understand this as the way to go, it is going to be troublesome because the market is showing you a lot of different signals, which actually is bullish, super bullish in my opinion. And then when you actually go through and understand a lot of these assets and what they are doing, it kind of gives you an idea, right? This is where the market is. This kind of gives you a clear picture. Because when you actually look at the MACD and say, okay, that's crossing to the downside, it's going down, is it like that all the time? No. You go back in time, you look at that. Okay, there was a time in the recent past where the MACD did cross to the downside and trapped a lot of bears. It went back up. Now, the RSI didn't actually go much higher. RSI stayed at that range. Still, the price moved from like 19,000 all the way up to $32,000. That's a great move without getting a lot of bullishness in terms of the RSI. But then you look at previous angles and you're like, okay, this is true. These kind of traps have been a part of this journey from earlier this year, from late last year. This trend to the upside acted like this. And it's not only that, you get more relevant signals on a macro chart showing you most likely these are the steps you're looking for, all different odds, and all of them kind of points you towards this is a huge possibility. Remember, this breakout was huge. Now, you're not looking at that trend, you're looking at a trend to the upside. Welcome to the Scientific Investor family, where the normal retail guys get learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. If you do look at the price action now, comparing what we have seen, this is important in my opinion. I mean, take this down. When that bearish move in the market was showing you a bull flag and then it broke higher, you should have turned extremely bullish. Now, yes, it is clear that looking back, we can actually say, okay, this was the point where everything changed. This was that area where bulls doubled down. They started pushing the price up. We did move from $15,000 to $45,000 in Bitcoin. But in SI family, it's a little bit different. We go back in time and we look at all of these things to understand, at this particular price level, what did we say? At this particular price level, what did we see, right? It all makes a lot of sense as the price was showing you different signals. We were breaking it down to give you guys the realistic idea. Because even back then, if you look at the MACD, initially it crossed to the downside. Showed you I'm going down. But then it went back up, crossed back to the upside, and the price went higher. Then you look at this. This is a macro trend which I posted earlier this last year, 2023 Jan 20. And this post was showing you we are breaking higher, which looks like this is the trend. We are breaking through that. If that's true, you're going to go higher. Now, when we look at things to get clarity, we understand that things are going into that category. We are now there. So we were following it up, saying, guys, watch this. Now, this is one of the important things to keep in mind. We told 25 to 30 is going to be a critical resistance, which we should keep in our mind, right? Now we go back in chart and you actually see that 25 to 30K was a huge resistance. So were we wrong? No, that was kind of spot on. So we actually saw the price entering there and consolidating. Now, when the price enters there, you can literally use different tools. We were following the order books to understand like where the volume is, where the buying power is allocated. So when I do all these analysis, I come onto the SI family, I post everything there in the group. So 930 members are taking benefit of this right now. If you want to be a part of that, look at the Patreon. The link is given in the description below. Now, if we do look at the current scenario, what the price action is doing now, what should we look forward? There's a lot to break down, especially when we do look at Bitcoin, when we do look at Bitcoin dominance, then look at the altcoins, XRP, the macro idea of where this is all going towards, there's a lot to break down. So before we do that, please do smash that like button and then let's roll here. Now, when we enter onto this territory, we are like, okay, XRP is still here. We're not breaking higher. We're still in that territory. And now Bitcoin also looks the almost same, right? That was the move initially. But right now, when you zoom in to a similar time horizon chart and you remove all this, you want to just see like, okay, what the hell is actually happening with this particular trend line? That looks bullish for me. I mean, if I'm looking at this, I'll actually say, okay, there is a lot of chance that this is a short-term breakout to the upside. We discussed about that. Now, we're trying to retest. Getting a bounce here for Bitcoin on a short term is going to be super important. And that would lead to a lot of scenarios which the price action is showing us on a higher time frame structure. Let it be a daily chart, right? It's actually showing us a lot of bullish signals. Let it be a weekly or even a 3-day chart where we're getting a lot of bullish signals. Now, what do I mean? I've been talking about this from a few days. Watch this. Keep your eyes focused on here. 43,800, 43,900. This weekly candle closing above that is a great signal for the market, or the great signal which the market is giving us to think about, to act on. That's going to give us a lot of detail. Now, if Bitcoin dominance is about to get rejected from this resistance, which is a long-term and a medium to short-term resistance, getting rejected then gives us a lot of room in the altcoins. What if that's breaking to the upside? With all of these hype on the ETF, if a lot of money jumps into the market, price breaks out, what would happen? Altcoins will definitely slow down. There is no doubt in that. But what we do have to keep in mind is these alts have been bouncing off from this particular trend line from last 1 year or more. So I would personally expect this asset to respect what it has done before. What was that? You come close to this, you bounce off. So yeah, I'm personally looking at this asset coming down here, bouncing back up. That's going to be something to keep our eyes focused on. But what would the entire altcoin segment do here? That's something more important or more relevant to understand this as a whole market. Because when you do take a consideration of this as a whole market, you're like, okay, if Bitcoin dominance is about to go back up, we need to see a phase like this. We talked about that a few videos, right? We discussed about that possibility. So that means if that's to happen, the price needs to come back down to this on the altcoin side. But at the same time, you will see Bitcoin grinding higher, Bitcoin trying to take new highs. This is going to be important. Where is going to be the money coming from? The money is also moving out of altcoins. And it makes a lot of sense. Meaning when you go look at these kind of assets, they may actually run up a little bit more with Bitcoin, slowly a little bit. And then you'll actually see them topping off. Historically, that's happened before, which means there's a lot of odds which shows you the possibility that money in the altcoins, which has actually popped 30, 40, 50x, they will actually move in to Bitcoin and few other altcoins. In the Patreon, we're actually going through a lot of different analysis where 930 plus members are taking benefit of those, right? We want to actually see which of these assets are trying to make a trap versus giving you an opportunity. Because some of them are just starting, some of them are ending their run or close to that region. No one knows where exactly this is going to be, but we kind of have an idea. Now, what do I actually mean by that? So when you look at Mask and it shows you like it's at $5, it's up 50% for the day. This is what we are talking about, right? We understand it's up 50% for the day and it's just getting started, right? So where did the momentum come from? This is one of the reasons. Maybe a week back, I was giving you guys this macro opportunity saying it's about to start here soon, right? Now, what was the measured move? It was a decent big move up there. There is still a lot of room, but yeah, you're not getting 700% because it already broke higher unless you get to buy the dip. But this is the idea. The market actually gives you signals which you can really use. So the RSI went down. As I'm trying to teach you what I saw, what worked for us as the SI family here, 900 plus members. You can also join. Either you learn it yourself or you get help, right? So here the price is not going down, but RSI did. Or in other words, sellers entered the market trying to push the price down, but they failed. And now we understand that they failed miserably. That's something to keep in mind. Now, just like what we talked about Bitcoin, just like what we discussed about all these, in a year time, we come back revisiting these saying, okay, now we are here, just like the INJ. Remember, when INJ actually broke higher at this level, we told you guys, what? This is a huge opportunity. That was like $1.52, that range. Now we had $40. That's a 20x move if you understood what happened back there, right? Same scenario is coming in a lot of different assets, not just this asset for sure. There are some which shows 10, 20, 30, 40, 50x possible move to the upside. We'll have to see how much of those complete those moves or go above that. But the market is showing you a lot of different possibilities. If you do understand that, now you're like, okay, it's not just about XRP where the talk is XRP is not moving. No. If you do think about the market just like that, you are slowing yourself down because XRP move up with the market. In its history, when we look at XRP as a whole asset and in the comparison with the market, we understand the fact that, yeah, each time this asset went up, the market was in a bullish move. Each time this asset went up, there were a few other assets which has already topped out. So the market is giving you a clear signal here. You want to watch a lot of altcoins taking off. Because if you argue XRP is not moving up, it's completely suppressed, then what about XLM? What about other assets in the payments industry? So it's more than that towards the actual market, the adoption, and some manipulation for sure. Agreed. Why? Because you're literally fighting against bankers. They don't like you taking their breakfast, lunch, and dinner away from you with this new technology. So they'll fight as much as possible. That's what we are watching. But yeah, this is going to be a big disruption and there is going to be a lot of money made in this. But how many of us would still have the patience, the liquidity to remain in the market? That's primarily why I say at least 10-20% of your portfolio should be in different assets, categories, segments, which is actually trending up. So you can make 5x in one segment, maybe move out, move into another, make another 5. That's now 25x. Or if you're lucky and you get 10x in one, you now only need 2x in the other. You make 20. Or if you get a 5x day, that's 50. So you need to think about rotating through different moves in the market, not trying to catch the green candles like this. After a pop like this, buying, they may not make a lot of sense. If you're a trader trying to trade short to medium term or even short term, you need to know what price action is showing you on a macro where there is a macro breakout, because a macro breakout will give you more momentum on a micro level because it's a micro and a macro matching together. That's where you get a lot of upside where it pops like 30, 40, 50, 60% to the north, right? So if you did get value out of this video, smash that like button for me. And if you want to join this family to benefit out of all of these opportunity calls, consider looking at the Patreon. The link is in the description below. So guys, I'll meet you on the next video. Bye for now. Bye.